Hey guys, I'm Bruce Gonzaga here from FitGolf Performance Centers, and I'm here with my partner Jason Rifkin. Today we're talking a little bit about balance in the golf swing. It's a very key and important issue to make sure you're developing in your swing, and it's sometimes the last thing that people work on. But we need to make sure that you can stay stable, balanced, and comfortable on each leg individually as you're transferring your weight through the swing. It will not only help you feel more confident when you're standing over the ball, but it will also help you use all the power that you're capable of, and thus a very consistent and smooth swing. So before we go over all those exercises today, if you want to download a checklist or a copy of this workout, feel free to click the link in the description and download that workout. Okay, so let's get started by stretching out some of the muscles in the hip area before we even start working on the balance. So one of our favorite stretches here that we like is called a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So to do this stretch, Jason's going to get one knee down on a pad. He's going to try to activate his core and his glute muscles a little bit by trying to tuck his belt buckle towards his belly button. Once he does that, he should start to feel a stretch right along the front of this left hip here. Good. Jason's nodding his head because you can feel that stretch going. And now from here, he's just going to push his whole body forward a little bit. Good. And that should increase this stretch just a little bit for him. And he's still squeezing his left glute and trying to engage his core muscles here. And for this stretch, you want to typically hold it for around 30 to 60 seconds on both sides, just to stretch out these muscles in the hip, which can usually get tight from a lot of sitting. And when they're tight, it makes it very hard to activate the muscles in the hip and the glute that we need to be working properly to stay balanced. Okay, so that's the half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Just getting the body a little stretched out and warmed up. And now that we've done that, we're going to work on actually activating this muscle in the glute called the glute medius. To do that, Jason's going to do this exercise called hip hikers. So you need to be able to step on a step or a stool, whatever you have, just to elevate yourself a little bit. And now from here, Jason's going to let his left leg kind of drop towards the floor, and he's going to drive through his right foot that's on the stool to hike that hip back up. Good. And again, the leg that's really doing the work here is the one on the stool, not the one hanging out in the air. And he's using a pole here for balance, so feel free to use a railing, a wall, a broomstick, a club, whatever you have available. And again, what we're trying to do here is just activate this muscle right in the hip to get that muscle on and working. So when you go to swing a golf club, that muscle is ready to go and you're staying balanced. For this exercise, you want to do 10 to 15 reps on both sides. Again, that's hip hikers, just getting that muscle in the hip working. Okay, so the body is now ready to practice some balance exercises. We've got 3 different ones here, each with different levels of intensity that you can start to work on. So a very simple and straightforward one is called a single leg stance. So it's quite literally Jason is just going to lift one of his legs up, trying to get that thigh all the way parallel to the ground. And he's got his arms nice out wide just to help with the balance here. Good. And Jason's making this look fairly easy, but for some people, this might be where you start. You might fall over a couple of times, and that's okay. Just catch yourself. If you really, really need to, you can use a pole or a golf club or a railing to kind of help you at least get started. But this is a great beginner balance exercise. And you could even try closing your eyes for a little bit during this. So get that leg up, feel nice and comfortable. Close the eyes and back open. Close and back open. And you can see that's a little bit tougher for Jason. Good. Okay, so that's level 1. Level 2 is called Stork Turns. So now we're actually going to get you rotating your hips on one leg while working on the balance. So to do this, Jason's going to start with a pole or a club. He's going to wrap one foot around the back of his leg and just start rotating his hips. The key here is lots of movement in the hips, a nice still upper body. That's the purpose of the pole, to help kind of isolate each of the different parts of the body. Okay, so he looks pretty good there. Lots of hips, no shoulders. Good. Now I'm going to have him try it without the pole. It's tough. It's not easy. So he's going to cross his arms, wrap that leg around, and rotate. You should feel that muscle in the hip and glute that we did with those hip hikers. You should feel that muscle working a little bit here. Just like you would in the golf swing, you want that same activation here. Good. Jason's been working on his balance a little bit. That looks pretty good. Okay, that's level 2. So level 3 is just a single leg stance with a weight involved. So I've got a 2-kilogram ball here. It's about 5 pounds. Jason's going to get in another single leg stance, get that leg all the way up, and he's got his hands just like a server with a plate full of dishes, and he's just passing that ball back and forth. Good. Again, he's trying to engage the glute, squeeze his abs a little bit. That'll help you stay balanced. But what this exercise is doing is it's taking his center of mass and moving it side to side. That's what makes this such a difficult balance exercise. So that muscle is working hard to try to keep his body from really moving around. Okay, so again, all of these moves and this kind of muscles that are working, you do want to feel these in the golf swing just to help you stay balanced on each leg as we go to transfer weight into the backswing, but also into the downswing. So start working on those group of exercises, and more specifically those last 3 in your everyday routine to start working on your balance.